Gentlemen and female gentlemen, we are witnessing a downfall the likes of which we've never seen before on the internet. We're talking about Mr. Jimothy Breast himself, who has been on a tear of terrible shit lately, from allegations about him mistreating people and staff at the MrBeast games in collaboration with Amazon, to allegations of faking his videos, to allegations of scamming his audience, to allegations of faking signatures, to allegations of running illegal lotteries targeted to children, to allegations of knowing about the fact that his best friend Chris Tyson has been inappropriately messaging minors for years, to allegations of probably other things that I'm just missing on the list. I just listed like 8 separate allegations that are all not good. Apparently MrBeast's team has been working overtime trying their absolute best to hide stuff. So they responded to some things, they happily didn't respond and ignored some other things, and apparently they're taking down old streams and videos and stuff. So this dude by the name of Upper Echelon just dropped a video titled, "The MrBeast team is imploding." Apparently the team is working overtime trying to cover up stuff. My game theory is that Mr. Jimothy Breast himself is going to try to sweep this all under the rug. He's just going to continue his Willy Wonka persona, being a fucking Jesus Christ 2 for children under the age of 10. I think he's just going to keep doing that shit and keep collabing with Logan Paul. That's my prediction. I could be totally wrong. That's just a theory. A game theory. But let's see where this goes, baby. Let's see the fucking dumpster fire as it unfolds. Let's see how MrBeast's team continues to implode.
All right, spontaneous video this time. Less preparation because this right here needs to get roasted. For anyone who doesn't know, a video came out somewhat recently.
Yeah, so this is MrBeast's team's first response to the long list of allegations. I didn't read all of it. I read some of it. I got like the TLDR, and it was bad. And the reason why I didn't actually even read it through myself completely was because they don't even address the main issues. Remember all those allegations I mentioned to you? Those 8 big fucking ones? The only one that I think this goes after is the fake video stuff, which is like a joke.
From someone who claims to be a former employee of MrBeast. And that video contains about 53 minutes of content. Too long, didn't watch, that's totally fine. Because I did my own summary breakdown, which I'll link down below in the description, with legal examples and a full description about the more meaningful claims.
Yeah!
Links down below. But since all that happened, another member of the MrBeast team has come out with a statement, and that statement is absolute, irrefutable garbage.
It's so bad. It's so bad! There is no way someone from the MrBeast team actually told him to release this. I bet you he released it himself. Because he doesn't, you can't have, like, it's like if someone comes out with a list of your crimes, all right? They're like, you're a murderer, a rapist, a fucking monster, you kidnap children. And also, I think your hair color is not even the real color. I think you dyed your hair, all right? And then someone comes out with a response. I would like to respond to the allegations. My hair color is actually completely natural. I have never dyed my hair, ever. And I will just leave that there. That's not good! That's so not good!
It fails to address literally any of the important issues whatsoever.
Yeah.
In yet another example of how to irreversibly screw up your own public reputation, speedrun edition. Just to clarify, this is yet again not a video about Ava Chris Tyson. That's a whole separate problem. There's a lot of really intense issues coming out with regards to all that and inappropriate behavior and
I think that discussion could die at this point. I feel like the whole Ava Chris Tyson stuff ran its course. Ava Chris Tyson is someone that inappropriately messaged minors, the end, axed them. Toast! Finished! I don't think... We do not need to tie back to this anymore, okay? Wow!
Servers and private messages and Jimmy's involved and the list goes on. But for me, the concept of running illegal lotteries, falsifying game show results, and breaking the law is a lot more immediately interesting when it comes to the world's largest YouTuber, who is renowned across the planet for his incredible generosity.
It's his philanthropy. Oh, yes, I will give away so much money to make the children forget that I am literally using them like piggy banks. Oh, yes. Sorry, I don't mean to make fun of Mr. Jimothy Breast too much. Still waiting to see if he responds to this stuff. Not taking this too to heart, but it's looking pretty bad right now.
Despite the fact that every single bit of it appears to be for personal gain.
Of course it's for personal gain. Okay, can we freaking kill this idea right now? All the philanthropy philanthropy is for personal gain, okay? Dude is getting publicity for doing good things for people. It doesn't negate the fact that he's doing good things for people, but yes, of course he's doing it for publicity too, okay? Let's not make believe anyone ever imagined that he was purely doing everything for everyone except for himself, okay? Let's stop that for a second. I don't think that's a bad thing. You're allowed to do nice things for other people and be recognized as doing nice things for other people, okay? Get out of here.
Nothing more. Anyway, a video came out from a former employee who claimed essentially 3 separate things. First, the game show videos are manipulated, directly impacting the integrity of the competition. Second, physical products.
A crime, by the way.
Namely, Feastables chocolate bars are more akin to lottery tickets than actual merchandise.
Yeah, a crime, by the way. Illegal lotteries, especially targeted towards children. Yeah. So if fake game shows is in, it's in the, let's say, the D tier on the Nux crime tier list, then lotteries for children, illegal lotteries for children is in the B tier of the Nux crime tier list.
Directly targeting children, which is a pretty severe ethical quagmire.
Yeah, sure.
And third,
and legal quagmire.
During his t-shirt signing live stream events, the team is frequently offering illegal lotteries, which are either not paid out properly or otherwise violate a bevy of rules and regulations.
Yeah, which also, in my opinion, falls into the B tier of lotteries, illegal lotteries for children as well. Not good. That's 2 B tier crimes and 1 D tier crime. I'm such a fucking loser. Why am I doing this?
Regarding sweepstakes law. In essence, the methods by which MrBeast has risen to fame and fortune is intrinsically predatory, as it leverages child psychology for maximum profit.
Yeah, like every single person that makes entertainment in the world. Literally. You know why they have all the quirks and gags and Subway Surfer visuals in fucking Marvel movies? Because they know kids have low attention spans, okay? I don't think that inherently is evil. It's when you're manipulating them to gamble and shit that it gets really, really bad.
Pretty intense allegations, if you ask me.
Yeah. Adding this in postscript because I just noticed there was 5 hours of one of these live streams where they were doing all this stuff that was still up on Facebook. And now, after all of the news of this broke, they went and took that down too.
Yeah, so this is like the worst damage control of all time. Someone says, like, you're allegedly doing illegal lotteries, and they're like, oh shit, I'll just delete the video. Oh! Illegal lotteries? Well, why don't I just delete the footage of it? That'll definitely get me out of hot water. Yes.
So they are running around trying to pull every single clip of...
Yeah, this was a 5-hour stream that was still on Facebook until this all went down, and they just deleted it right now. Not good.
Footage of the stuff that they did, including this one on Facebook. Yeah, that probably says something.
This is like someone saying, I've seen you've sent inappropriate messages to a minor. Oh shit, I'll just go delete those messages real quick. It's like the cops go up to someone and say, I would like to know, do you have child porn on your phone? Yeah, but I'm just gonna delete it real quick. This is like,
Don't you think?
Well, in my own video, I discussed a couple of those same examples, like rigging a competition between boys and girls by directly removing one of the more skilled players on the boys' team in order to skew the results blatantly on camera.
Yeah, that's a rigged game show, ladies and gentlemen.
But before going back to some of the more hard-hitting infractions here, I want to read and discuss a statement made by Chucky, who appears to be a high-level MrBeast team member who has taken it upon himself.
High-level MrBeast team member. What does that even mean? He is the governor in the MrBeast empire.
To debunk these allegations with
Chucky is about to get fired. No, I'm joking, but goddamn.
One of the worst responses you can possibly imagine. Normally, I just read bullet points or summarize, but for this one, I'm going to go point by point.
All right, let's go. I didn't actually go through all this shit. All right, let's go. Tearing to shreds, Mr. Upper Echelon.
By one. Quote, I quickly want to debunk some of the info in this video since the guy who made it was on my team. It was my decision to fire him for erratic behavior. He worked at the company for less than
I will character assassinate the person that made these allegations, even though they had evidence.
a month and wasn't an employee for most of the videos he mentions to have knowledge on. There's so much in this video, and I want to specifically address him saying our videos are fake or staged because this is not true, and I was on set for many of those videos.
You know what would be a much better thing that if Chucky wanted to do? Chucky should have gone on stream, or not on stream, recorded himself off screen so he doesn't actually accidentally say something wrong. Record yourself reacting to the entire video and debunk it point by point. That's how you fucking respond to this. Unless the allegations are true, in which case you obviously can't do that.
End quote. Okay, all right, cool, man. Let's hear it. Quote.
But also, it's just weird to me. It's like, now before debunking the claims in this video, I would like to character assassinate the person making the claims. Okay, on to the claims.
You won't get in a video unless you're family or friends with someone that works at Beast. This is a wild statement that can easily be proven wrong. There's probably hundreds or thousands of people who have no affiliation to friends/family of Beast employees. Think the 456 people in Squid Game, or ages 1 through 100, etc. Jimmy doesn't more than like a dozen people, LOL.
First of all, it's a terrible fucking response. Because what does that mean, Jimmy doesn't know more than a dozen people? He had 50 YouTubers on his last video. His latest video had 50 YouTubers, so that's bullshit. But again, you're taking this quote out of context. He's not saying that you will never get in a video unless you're friends or family with someone that works at Beast. He's just saying your chances are super unlikely because there are a lot of paid actors. That's the problem. It's when there are a lot of staged paid actors that makes the integrity of the whole thing ruined, right? It's not the idea that you can never get on a video. So this is a little bad faith.
End quote. Response? Sure. In the grand scheme of his YouTube channel, MrBeast can certainly point to a multitude of examples where people that aren't directly on or affiliated with the production team were part of videos. There were other creators, there's verified instances where a few random fans were chosen for things or won very large sums of money. But here's an example of what that looks like.
All right. 2 ups.
Whoa, Sim?
You sure you don't want the cheaper one? Nah, I'm just messing. You got $1 million.
Yeah, he's rich, damn.
You have $1 million.
I don't believe this is real.
It is.
Man, this is crazy.
This is only a small percentage of what you have.
I don't even know how I'm gonna spend it all. This is unreal.
They gave this man 24 hours to spend $1 million. He did, while they crack jokes about how rich he is and all this other stuff. But a few years later, he came out and said this.
Oh, fuck, I didn't know about this. This is whole new allegations. Chilled Luck, thank you so much for the 3 gifted subs. Oh, God. I didn't know this guy came out later.
He did help me financially, but, like, giving me money for... I don't know if I'm allowed to say it. That's why I'm trying to word it differently.
Because everyone that fucking joins in the MrBeast shit has to sign NDAs.
But, he did give me funds, but I just wish instead of, like, just... Because it's okay to get funds, but to help me invest and to help me be able to be stable on my own without his money, you know? So that's probably one thing I would do differently, too.
Okay. You know the reason for that is because he wanted the video of a guy spending $1 million in a day. Obviously, if... See, this is why I'm, like, fully on board with the whole idea that MrBeast isn't giving away money because he likes giving away money. He's giving away money for the content. The content was having this guy spend $1 million in a day. It would be a lot less exciting if he would have given this guy $1 million and then he would have taken, you know, 700,000 of those dollars and put them into the stock market, all right? And then the other $300,000 would have been buying himself a house, okay? Obviously, that would be a lot less exciting than putting all sorts of video games in a shopping cart in Best Buy. Obviously, that content is a lot less exciting. So to say that MrBeast is 100% altruistic is brain dead. Obviously not. He's doing it for the content. That said, this guy still did get $1 million to spend. Like, on the one hand, he definitely gave him $1 million to spend on shit that would be good content for himself. However, the other hand, obviously it wasn't altruistic. I think both of these things are equally true.
That was the best example I can give you is when we had planned out the house and stuff. I literally had an hour. He had somebody come to my house and we sat down and we planned all this in an hour. Yeah, they came to my house and we planned this out in about an hour. So
yikes! You couldn't have at least given this man some time to think about it? Like to pick the place that he actually wanted to get, or... Ugh! Oh! Bro, you're giving him $1 million. At least let him be happy with how he spends it. Oh my God.
I wish that
could have been a great lesson for kids. Yeah, but he doesn't want to do a lesson for kids. He wants to get views.
I would have had more time, and I wish I would have did a couple things differently on the time management side, which I guess I really couldn't help because I had...
Bro, you gave him $1 million to spend in 24 hours. Like, obviously, he's not going to make the best decisions.
I had to spend it. I had to spend the money, and I had to, like...
Your MrBeast is just Niji Sanji with extra steps. This is crazy.
Do all this.
Imagine being given $1 million and being left with regrets about that shit. God damn.
Yeah, there's this thing called sudden wealth syndrome.
Yeah, that's like a lot of lottery winners end up losing all their money and go broke within a year.
It's a psychological phenomenon where people who don't typically have a lot of money suddenly acquire a very large amount of it, and then proceed to make impulsive, irrational, or self-detrimental decisions, leaving them as bad or worse off than they were before at the end of it all.
Yeah, like on the one hand, how can he be upset at MrBeast? He gave the man $1 million. On the other hand, he definitely did set it up in a way for him to make bad decisions with that $1 million so MrBeast could get good content. Like, both of these things are true.
A lot of people probably know of this because when someone wins the Powerball or the lottery or whatever it is,
they go broke within a year, statistically.
They oftentimes end up back to being broke within a short span of time.
Yeah.
Because they're making really strange decisions because of sudden wealth syndrome. MrBeast.
You see, if I would get $1 million for MrBeast, real estate, ASAP, it all goes into real estate, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, all into real estate. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Gives out all this money, but he intentionally condensed the timeline for this winner to a point where he had zero hope of rational decision making.
Yeah. I didn't even think of it that way, but true. You win a lottery and you go broke within a year. Here he had to spend $1 million in one day. Boss, your Jew is showing. Listen. A lot of people think that there are a lot of successful Jews out there because of some secret cabal of Jews that control the banks and shit. That is not true as far as I know, okay? I was not invited to this cabal, if it's real, okay? Waiting for my application in the mail. But like, literally, I was taught to invest from a freaking toddler age. My grandfather came to America with nothing, okay? Holocaust survivor, came to America with zero, zilch. Built himself up from nothing, okay? His whole family was killed, except for his father, who my grandfather later found his father, brought him to America and completely supported him because he was, like, you know, he couldn't work after the war. So my grandfather supported himself and his father without speaking the language. Came from nothing. So he taught me to invest ever since I was a freaking baby, okay? This is how he would give us gifts, okay? He would give us gifts to me and all of my cousins. This is how he would deal with us. You know, it would be my birthday, okay? My 6th birthday. My grandfather would give me $20, okay? And he would say, here's $20. Now, you could take this $20 and spend it, or you could invest it in my bank. He doesn't have a bank, all right? just full disclosure, he does not have a bank. But you can invest it in my bank where you will get interest on this money, and every single month your money will make more money. And I'd be like, holy shit, I'll put it in my grandpa bank. And he'd be like, okay. And he would increase the amount of money in that bank. Whenever I would get a gift, I would go to my grandpa to put it in the grandpa bank. So he would invest by giving me interest on that money that I kept with him. It literally taught me how to be more mindful of what I was making. And then when I turned 18, he just gave me all the money that I've ever invested with him. And he was like, all right, now keep investing. It's like super wholesome, incredibly good education, honestly. Just super good education. W Grandpa.
For the sake of pushing YouTube content, he completely destroyed any chance that this man had of having a truly responsible outcome, which would involve hiring a financial planner, setting up a retirement fund, investing in diversified assets, etc.
Obviously, MrBeast isn't going to do that because he wants the good content. Yeah, it's a little scummy. It's a little scummy, but ultimately, he did give this man $1 million. Like, you have the two sides to it. I wonder if before this guy won the $1 million, because he won $1 million in a competition working for MrBeast. If before the competition, MrBeast told him you're going to win $1 million, no strings attached. But then after the competition, it turned out he needed to spend all that $1 million in one day for a MrBeast video, then that's an actual scam. I wonder if it was in the fine print of the original contract that winning the $1 million would include needing to spend that within a day for a video. Because if it didn't say that, and he entered all these tournaments to win $1 million, and after winning, he was told he had to spend it all within a day, without that actually being in the original contract, that is a fucking massive scam, if that's true. And I would love clarification on that, to be honest.
All of which takes time. He intentionally disallowed that from happening. For the sake of making a video more exciting and more clickable for the Zoomer kids hoping to get rich someday off of him, he funneled this winner into a pathway of completely irresponsible decision-making.
True.
And I think we need to acknowledge that when we're discussing the random people who go on these game shows trying to win it big. Anyway, reading on. Next
Yeah,
claim.
all right.
The train track was CGI, the bus wheels are CGI, the pit is fake.
Again, this is such a non-issue from the video. He mentioned that in like 1 second just to tell you that he fakes shit in videos, even though he actively lies. He lies! He says, I've never faked anything in a video, and he has faked things in video. That was the point of this. This was not one of the big allegations.
He acts like he's exposing us for using CGI to make backgrounds look cool when we have done multiple public behind-the-scenes videos with So Crispy showing this. It's clearly not a secret. On top of that, we did drive buses in that pit, and same with the train that you claim we didn't. End quote. That part, in my opinion, is totally fine. I didn't raise that point in my own coverage.
Yeah,
because
I think it's fine because it's responding to like a non-point. It's responding to something that ultimately doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things.
I think it's incredibly weak. Editing things so that the bus wheels look like they're spinning is relatively harmless. And doesn't
Again, that's for theatrics. Who cares?
strike me as a point that needed to be emphasized at all. Fair response, but not even one of the more important
Yeah,
details.
this next one is fucking crazy.
Reading on, the raccoon was a paid actor. I don't even know what to say about this. Clearly not an actor, lol.
If you're gonna address such a tiny, pathetic little part of the video, like the raccoon was a paid actor, then you should definitely be addressing the financial scams. You can't say, I'm just gonna talk about a bunch of points in this video. When he said the raccoon was a paid actor, it actually wasn't a paid actor. And then just conveniently be quiet about the financial scam allegations. Like, holy cow, bro.
End quote. That was a joke? The guy was making a joke? Responding to the joke as if it's serious is the hallmark of someone who actually can't respond to any substance. I'm sensing a pattern here.
Yes, sir.
Bad look. Quote, island cost more than $1. Not true. We did pay $1 for this island. You can Google MrBeast purchases Outer Banks Island for $1, which stated this before the video was released. End quote. Yes, fact check, true. The island was sold for $1, with $27 in other taxes and fees afterwards, but that same island is now being leased back to the original owners. Not sure what to make of it, but
Interesting.
Fine. Island got sold for $1 as a gimmick. He's doing all right so far.
Look, you could do anything as a gimmick, right? I could go to someone and say, I will give you $1 million as a gift, but I want to buy your house for $1. So ultimately, I'm spending $1,001 to buy a house, but technically, on paper, I only bought it for $1. You could do that. Again, that is not one of the big allegations here. That was obviously not one of the points that was really being made. Like, again, this falls under the same thing. It's like, yes, you are a murderer, a rapist, and also dye your hair to look like, and you're bald. And then the guy's like, I am actually not bald. It's like, all right, good coverage, bro.
Not the worst response ever, but he's not responding to anything of substance at all. Quote, he moved into a mansion 2 months before being in a video, $1 million mansion. He talks about how 2 months before we filmed the first Mac video that he moved into a mansion, Mac was staying at a friend's house, and I'm not sure how that proves anything or why it's relevant. And
well, it's relevant because he obviously knew this guy and he wasn't a random contestant anymore. It's relevant because it proves that MrBeast is taking people that he's making believe are just random subscribers that are not actually random subscribers to script his videos and fake his game shows. Yes, it is relevant.
End quote. That's not even a response. That's worthless. But also the initial claim is somewhat irrelevant as well, because this whole who works on the team and when storyline just doesn't matter. It's not hard hitting. Moving on. Quote, this wink was added in post. Bruh, he really did wink. This is a flat out lie again. End quote.
I love people that say bruh in responses to serious allegations. Every time he says bruh and lol, it's just like, what are you doing, dude?
Maybe. I don't know.
Who cares? Who cares? He added a wink in post. That's not an argument. That's like saying the raccoon is a paid actor. Who cares?
Not a good look if the wink is real and it's one of the things he's claiming was added in post, if that's just a factual discrepancy.
You're right. Not looking good per se, but like, come on, dude.
There, again, not good, but none of this matters. Chucky is picking around the edges. He's not even pretending to address a single thing that matters. Down below, here he goes again, hyperfixating on stuff that means absolutely.
As Upper Echelon once typed, I was a MrBeast's employee, and he's a fraud. You heard it here first. He's a fraud, I tell you.
Nothing. I'm actually going to skip this because it's a waste of mine and everyone else's time.
All right. For the sake of
absolute.
For the sake of doing it right, I'll read it.
Nothing.
The revenge storyline was added in post. He implies the 42 and 58 were switched and not real. The contestants themselves have talked about this on streams after the video. They legit didn't like each other. He also claimed 58 was on the far opposite side and didn't hear him. Just because he was on the other side of the room, you think 58 heard him yell? How on earth would he know? This is such a stupid fucking response. Again, not one of the major claims that was made. Not an actual response. He's like, maybe he could have heard him. All right? The allegation wasn't a big deal, and the response is not a good deal. He's a fraud, is what I'm trying to say.
I'm actually going to skip this because it's a waste of mine and
I agree. Based skip.
everyone else's time.
This is a nothing burger.
But then finally, Chucky says something that matters.
All right, so this is actually covering the fake rigged game shows.
About something that matters and completely blows up his own response. Quote, not only were the results of this video completely scripted, but the contestants are not random subscribers. He claims our 100 boys versus 100 girls video is scripted, and the proof is a random text saying it is. That's it.
That was not the proof! The proof was that he paid off people that were able to solve Rubik's Cubes to leave earlier to give the girls a better chance of succeeding. And the fact that a bunch of the people in the videos were paid actors. That was the proof, not the text.
It was not scripted.
Wow.
Jimmy probably had countless people on set for that video, and it would have been impossible to hide. This video was not scripted.
I think that this guy that's making this big response tweet doesn't actually know what scripted in a game show means. If you have let me give you an example. If you have 100 girls and 100 boys competing to see who could eat the most hot dogs, okay? And the boys are winning. So in order to increase, and whoever eats the most hot dogs between the girls or the boys wins $1 billion, okay? So now, if they're all eating the hot dogs and shit, and you see one boy is eating a fuck ton of hot dogs, so you specifically pay off that one boy to stop eating hot dogs, it is now a competition of 100 girls versus 99 boys. Technically, let's say even the boys win at that point, all right? You did rig the competition. You ultimately did rig the competition. Maybe you didn't script everything to the very, very end of the competition. You didn't script exactly who would eat how many hot dogs to see who would eat the most hot dogs, but it was rigged. It was now 99 versus 100 instead of 100 versus 100, which is what everyone was led to believe when they actually first entered. Okay? So this idea of saying it's not scripted is not true. Because the moment you kick one person off, it's true maybe you didn't script every aspect of the game show, but you did rig it. Right?
I was on set for this, and there was no bias for who won. He also implies the video is fake because we have some employees on each team. The employees in the video were there to fill in for people who tested positive for COVID last minute right before filming. Thea, Jimmy's girlfriend, mentioned this on a podcast over a year ago. If it wasn't for COVID, they would have not been in it. They had the same dollars on the line as everyone else.
See, again, this is kind of a he said, she said kind of thing. Like, I don't know if MrBeast rigged it towards these people or didn't rig it towards these people. Not so much the point here. No proof either way here. It is definitely wrong to claim that it is all subscribers, and then it turns out you have a couple of people that you know in there. That is definitely wrong. But again, if there's no evidence either way, then whatever.
Some random text of someone thinking it was rigged doesn't mean it's rigged, LOL.
I hate the LOLs. But yeah, no, this is really bad. This is really bad because he didn't address the fact that he did actually rig the game show. He rigged the game show by paying off the one Rubik's Cube kid to leave early because he was good at Rubik's Cubes. That rigs the game show, period. But he doesn't address that.
End quote. There it is, right there. He completely destroys his own response, and let's showcase precisely why.
All right, let's go.
There is no bias for who won. Wrong. Chucky, you are wrong. This is a lie. During that challenge, there was a twist where whichever team could solve 100 Rubik's Cubes.
Oh, here we go. Rubik's Cubes time. Yeah, all right.
First would be fine, but the loser would have their circle that they had to stay inside cut in half, directly influencing their ability to win the challenge overall. You can quibble about how much that change impacted their ability to win overall, a little bit or a lot, but it did impact them. During that Rubik's Cube event, let's call it, MrBeast identified publicly that there was just one boy and one girl able to solve the cubes. He makes a whole big deal out of it, actually. But then, again, right in the video, he says, we're going to make things interesting and offer the one guy in there who knows how to solve them $10,000 to leave the video, which he does. The boy
because he was offered $10,000. Ladies and gentlemen, maybe it doesn't script every tiny bit in detail to see who wins and who loses. Exactly how many Rubik's Cube each person solved. But without a doubt, this rigs the competition. I'm so glad Upper Echelon picked up on this too. Holy shit.
Boy leaves, the team is then quite obviously unable to continue competing in that event with any real chance at completing it, and MrBeast goes across to the girls' team and says, quote, "I paid the one guy who knew how to solve them to leave. Now, if you don't win, that was all for nothing, so win for me."
Yikes! Yikes! Oh God! I guess I know MrBeast wants to have this larger than life persona that he's such a good guy. He's paying people off. But when it's a competition, you realize all these people came out to this competition. They all flew out here. They all flew out to this competition to be in this thing. They took days off work. They sweated and worked really hard. And it's just not fair now.
That's called bias, Chucky, you fucking moron.
It's not just bias, it's a rigged tournament. Forget the bias. It's not about the bias. Okay, I don't care if people are biased in their mind. I care about when the actions rig it. And yes, he rigged it.
Also, wonderfully enough, it's a violation of 47 USC 509, which states it shall be unlawful by means of persuasion, bribery, intimidation, or otherwise to induce or cause any contestant in a purportedly bona fide contest of intellectual knowledge or intellectual skill to refrain in any manner from using or displaying his knowledge or skill in such contest, whereby the outcome thereof will be in whole or in part prearranged or predetermined.
Over. Brought out the Cornell Law School. It's Jover. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
End quote. And the girls did win the overall challenge, meaning that the only real question is whether or not the world's largest YouTube channel, with hundreds of millions of followers and views, is
5 times the size of the Roman Empire, by the way,
governed by broadcasting laws, or if they are somehow immune to the governing regulations of game shows, traditional game shows, despite having a larger audience and higher prize money than any other similar program. To be fair, that question can actually be debated heavily. But what can't be debated is the fact that MrBeast directly influenced the challenge.
Listen, whether he's going to be punishable by courts or not, or whether there's going to be some sort of exception for YouTube competitions versus broadcasted competitions, I don't give a shit. Don't make believe it's not rigged. It is rigged. Come on, guys. Basic honesty here. Also, Upper Echelon typed out the word versus instead of just typing VS, which is serial killer type shit. All right, that was a joke, obviously. That was a joke. I like Upper Echelon. Man's actually spitting right now.
And the winning team in a biased way, openly, which in part affected the results. Point blank, period, Chucky. The rest of the response is more useless garbage. He doesn't even make a passing attempt at refuting anything of substance. And the entire thing boils down to a simplified claim that the other guy is lying. MrBeast hasn't done anything wrong.
And also, I'm going to slander, and also, well, maybe not slander. Also, he was erratic, so we fired him. He's erratic. So yes, he's claiming with irrefutable evidence that we're doing illegal lotteries? But he's erratic, guys!
But from where I sit, this is a pretty stunning example of someone doing things wrong that are predatory and unethical, as the metaphorical levee breaks and the world kind of wakes up to the fact of who they are and what they do. Actually, the final outro is worth reading, and it goes like this, quote, "Jimmy spends unfathomable amounts of money and time to ensure the integrity of what he does, and I hate to see it come into question with a bunch of lies. Dawson, if you leave this up, then you're a hypocrite."
This is crazy. First of all, what does that mean, you're a hypocrite? And second of all, what do you mean? Unfathomable amounts of money and time to ensure the integrity of what he does. What integrity? What makes YouTube videos? He does illegal lotteries. He literally is getting children gambling for his freaking Willy Wonka chocolate bars.
End quote. But from where I sit, it is painfully clear that MrBeast's competitions have zero integrity.
We missed you, Randy. Where have you been?
He openly manipulates the results in a multitude of ways. There's many, many more examples.
Again, I think that MrBeast could have avoided all this if he would have said that there is a large element of scripting in these videos. Obviously, we hype things up for the sake of theatricism and shit. And you are, like, at least make some sort of disclaimer for this. Like, ultimately, we will be doing random shit and videos that we purely will be because we want it to be entertaining. You can be kicked off any competition at any time if we feel like it. Like, do some sort of crazy disclaimer and shit. Oh my god. Like, this is misleading people into joining competitions that you will not win if they don't want you to win. We missed you, Jimmy. Where have you been?
I told some of them in the prior video, which again is linked down below. But yeah, there's a bunch of examples. This debunking response is completely worthless.
Yeah, it's awful.
And the real substance of the initial video itself has nothing to do with just editing the videos.
You know, I love how the whole thing was just to debunk claims of fake videos, but not actually, you know, to debunk the actual damning shit.
The real substance is selling merchandise on a live stream while you tell everyone someone who buys a shirt in the next 5 minutes will get thousands of dollars in the package, which causes people to spam buy your t-shirts, which you profit from. And then when the 5 minutes are over, you say, wait, don't we owe someone money? Okay, someone who buys in the next 30 seconds will get the money in their order, thus invalidating the purchase of anyone who bought the shirt during those first 5 minutes to have a shot at winning prize money because you changed the rules.
Yeah, so not only is it an illegal lottery, but it's also a scam. Let's go.
That is, in no uncertain terms, illegal, okay? And it's further emphasized by the
and predatory. These are kids. Like one of the best lines I think in the original Dog Pack video was, Jimmy is not promoting gambling. Jimmy owns the casino. Okay? It's like, it's wild to me. It's absolutely wild.
Deletion of those live streams because they...
Like, this is unironically worse than XQC gambling on Twitch, okay? Everyone was going crazy about XQC gambling on Twitch. This might be... I think this is probably worse. Like, at least in the XQC streams, he was saying it was 18 plus, right? And at least XQC didn't own the casino. Eesh. This is... Well, both are not good, so this isn't like a fucking...
No, it's illegal. And they didn't want...
No, Kick offered me a contract that included gambling, and I turned them down on that. So I don't like it, okay? I don't like the idea altogether. But this is worse.
To face consequences for their predatory behavior and gimmicky, horrible tactics. The MrBeast team is falling apart. Ava Chris Tyson is now a full-blown multiviral scandal that just keeps on getting worse.
Oh, yeah. That does not stop somehow.
The predatory reality of how they organize competitions and merchandise was not debunked. It was made exponentially worse by another employee now saying, there is no bias, and Jimmy spends unfathomable amounts of money to ensure the integrity of what he does.
There is no bias.
But again, the atmosphere I see is one where a channel that pretty much always...
There is no bias, there is no tooth fairy, and there is no Queen of England! There are conspiracies!
...exploited people, hiding under an extremely thin and very disingenuous veneer of, but we give it all away, we're so charitable, while they get filthy rich off of underage gambling and people's desperation in the background, is now losing public support. I think it's deserved, but time will tell. That's it. Not sure if I'll cover the Ava Chris Tyson stuff. It's got about as much public scrutiny as humanly possible right now anyway, so it's not like I'd bring anything unique or new to the table, but this angle seems to be quite a bit less well-known, so it felt worth it. If you want to support the channel...
Yeah, I'm glad he covered the response, the Jimothy Breast response.
Well, there's links down below, a special VPN deal, locals and Patreon, and more, but...
Yeah, definitely check out Upper Echelon. They make pretty good stuff. I've seen a couple of their videos in the past. They make some good shit. But honestly, this has been a nightmare. I just saw... I think Asmongold even reacted to this video as well. The MrBeast team is probably taking this the worst possible direction, just covering shit up, putting things behind the rug, taking down streams, responding to points that really don't matter. Ultimately, it's bad, and it's probably only going to get worse. And it's crazy to think how MrBeast fell from grace. Like, from one of the most beloved creators on the platform to one of the most criticized right now. If you made it to the end, click one of these two videos, which also will definitely get me canceled. See you live on Kick. Stay weird, fam.